Hello students, you are welcome to this edition of our series of videos on circle theorem. So this is the last video on circle theorem. This is summary, last summary. So this one is last summary, summary 2. This is summary 2. Okay. So this is just a short summary on circle theorem. After this, then we look at what series of questions on circle theorem. So we are saying that three very important things to note. These three things are very important. Key things to note. You have to note these things in order to be able to solve circle theorem questions effectively. So the first one is know what each theorem states. Note what each theorem states. You have to know what each theorem states. All the 7 theorems. So far we considered all the theorems to be 7. Some people can have more than 7 theorems. Others can also have less than 7. So it depends on your teacher. So it's not fixed. That not compulsory that you have to have this number of theorems. Depends on on the teacher. Okay, so you have to know what each theorem states, and then the second point is that you should be able to identify the theorems in the question. So when you are giving circle theorem question, you should be able to identify any theorem or all the theorems that will be present in the questions. You should be able to identify all the theorems in the given question. Okay. And then the third point is that you should be able to apply the identified theorems to solve the questions or the question. So after you have identified the theorem, you should be able to apply the theorem. So the first point is that you have to know the theorem. What does each of the theorem state? What does each of the theorem state? You have to know that. And then after you have known what each theorem states, then the second thing is that if you know what the theorem states, you should be able to, if you meet the theorem, you will to identify, oh, that this is theorem, this is that, this is what the theorem says. You have to identify that, and having be able to identify, you should be able to apply the theorem. So how do you apply the theorem to solve questions? This is a very key thing if you know that. Okay. And then we are saying that the theorems can be stated in any order. The theorems can be stated in any order. So that is theorem 1 can be theorem 5 and so on. So when we started, or in our lesson, we said that theorem 1, we stated theorem 1 to be what? Be that angles. Theorem 1, according to our lesson, theorem 1 is what? Or state that the angle formed by what? Formed by an arc at the center is equal to 2 times the angle formed by the same arc on the circumference. That is our theorem 1. And then we're saying that the diameter, theorem 2, the diameter subtends an angle, forms an angle of 90 degrees on the circumference. So somebody can bring this diameter theorem, the theorem of diameter, as theorem 1. And then the theorem 1 that we talked about, that's the angle subtended by an arc at the center, which is equal to 2 times the angle subtended by the same arc on the circumference. That's what? As theorem 2. So it doesn't follow any particular order. The theorems it's not mandatory to change the theorem. Say this is theorem 1, theorem 2. Our theorem 1 in this video can be somebody's theorem 4, theorem 5. It depends on the person. But normally we start from the simple ones, or the simpler ones, or the simplest. Start from the simplest, and then you move on to the more complicated ones. That's what you do. That one helps. It helps the student to understand it very well. Because if we start from the very first complex at theorem 1, then it will not. The student might not understand it. Very easily. But if we start from the simplest one, then we'll be building on that, and then we'll be moving to the complex ones that the student will find it. Easier to understand. So, students, this is the summary, short summary. The last video on this series of lessons on circle theorem. So in the next videos or in the subsequent videos, you will consider more examples. One thing you know about maths is that once you have been taught this topic, you should really understand. You have to understand, don't memorize. And after you have understood, you have to solve 101 questions, as many as as many questions as possible. You have to solve a lot of questions. By solving a lot of questions, you'll become fun. You'll be exposed to different questions. You'll be very, very strong. So that whatever question that comes in the exams, you'll be able to solve it without any difficulty. So thank you for watching, and I see you in the subsequent videos whereby we will look at what questions on circle theorems. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Get understanding. Don't memorize. So all that we have learned, you don't have to memorize. You have to understand. Because if you understand, if you are given a question and you have understanding, then you'll be able to get wisdom to know what to do. That is why I'm saying that it is in your wisdom is in your understanding. So if you don't have understanding, it means you don't have wisdom. So always, whatever you do, make sure you understand and don't memorize. And then that one will be able to be powerful and to go to places and to understand and do more things. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.